hour has come, and a man must step forward. A man to carry the flag of the handshake team against William Samoei Ruto. That man has already stepped forward. His name, Raila Amolo Odinga. His recent utterances leave no doubt whatsoever that without saying it directly, he is preparing for 2022. From saying when they take over power, they will jail all the thieves, to coming up with a 15-point agenda for the country, to side talks, all these point to a man ready to take over, even as he kind of dismisses his partners, that indeed, if the NASA core principles want him to support them, they should go for an open context. They win against him, then he supports them. As Raila says this, he knows all too well, as indeed we all do, that none of them can beat him in an open, transparent contest, and as Raila puts it, supervised by IEBC. I could add that even if it was supervised by angels from heaven, none of them would beat Raila Odinga. So, this morning, I want us to look at Raila Odinga's chances of becoming President of the Republic of Kenya, the famed 5th President of the Republic of Kenya. But first, before we look at the substantive issues, let us remove spurious sideshows, things that people have said, which in my view should not be worth our attention. First, they have said that Raila has tried too many times. And therefore, on that account alone, you can believe he won't win again if he tried. This is almost laughable for two reasons. One, trying once, twice before you get is normal in politics. Mwai Kibaki tried 2 times. When he was almost giving up, the rainbow dream came and the Raila Tosha came. That is what propelled Kibaki to State House. He was almost giving up. The famed Abraham Lincoln. Go and Google. How many times did he try to get into office? President Joe Biden, many people here don't know, had tried severally to become President of the Republic, President of United States of America. So trying once and twice and not getting is not a new thing in politics. The second reason is actually a question we must pose. Did Raila actually lose all the times he tried? You can only be sure of 1997, when he was a neophyte candidate, trying it for the first time. You can't say that of the year 2007, when a majority of Kenyans believe he won. Judge Kriegler came here and he concluded that you could not tell who won. In English, that means Kibaki did not win, for those of you who don't know English. Get it? Kivuitu, the man in charge of the commission, Electoral Commission, said as much. In 2013, Uhuru had to move a few votes here and there to avoid a rerun, which was obviously, he won the first round, but there was certainly going to be a rerun. If the issues that were brought up in the Superior Court of the Supreme Court, especially by Kathy Kilonzo, of the top-up votes, and remember there were only 8,000 votes. So you can't, in that case, say Raila lost. You say somebody has lost, one, if it's very clear he has lost, and two, if the significant loss is evident. In 2017, none other than the Supreme Court declared Uhuru's victory null and void. So to argue that Raila has lost is a weak argument. Secondly, why Raila never became president on those 2 occasions, or at least 2 or 3 occasions, or at least 1 occasion, was what happens in third world countries. An election may be good, but the transition, the transfer of power from one set to another set is always a problem. That you can have a wonderful election, and indeed our election is one of the best in the world. The problem now comes, are we prepared to hand power to the person who has won? So again, for people who argue that the loser should accept, blaming Raila that he must accept when he loses, he's a perennial loser, is again a stupid argument. You can advance that argument if a person has lost in a free and fair election. There is sufficient evidence that he did not lose 2007, at least not fairly, including the swearing in of Kibaki almost at night. There is sufficient evidence from the Supreme Court, including the servers not being opened up to today. So you cannot argue somebody should accept defeat if the elections were not free and fair. Let's go to another argument, that Raila is too old. Again, it's born out of ignorance. I'm sorry to say so. The world has had very old leaders. Queen Elizabeth is doing her job wonderfully, marvelously, as a monarch. She's 90 things. I don't know, 95. Have you heard somebody complain? Prince Charles, son to the Queen and the heir in waiting, is older than me. Much, much older than me, my friend, by more than 10 years. By more than 12 years, 12, 13 years. Look how old I am. He's waiting to become king. And you dare say Raila is too old? Say something else. In Malaysia, the country elected Mahathir Mohamad at the age of 92, 93 as prime minister after Razak had been involved in corruption, mega corruption. Those of you who like this, what you saw billions of dollars and euros circulating somewhere in some room said to belong to him. So it's not about age. Kibaki himself was questioned on account of age. What did he say? Kibaki said, he laughed it off. He said, that's the beauty of democracy. People have the right to say what they want. He wasn't too old. He's one of your best presidents, as you say. So age is never really a factor. And I invite those who are arguing that way to Google and find some of the oldest leaders, including Gladstone, elected and appointed prime minister at the age of 82 years in a first world country. What are we talking about? Other arguments, he's too weak. Anybody can be sick. You also don't know. And again, I invite you to Google and find out people who are extremely ailing, sickly, but wielding a lot of state power, including the US president during the Second World War. Sometimes Americans didn't even know the man was paralyzed. He was in a wheelchair. They didn't know. If you look at Jeff Kennedy, I invite Kenyans to view a documentary under Viasat History. I don't know whether, I don't see it these days, under what they call the body of. They will show Hitler, the issues he had. They will show Kennedy. They will show many movie stars, musicians, great. People work with all manner of issues. So you cannot dismiss somebody on the basis of age. Now, let's look at the substantive issues. Is Raila fit to be president in terms of, can he manage Ruto? Yes, he has the resources. He has the network. He has experience. He's a shrewd politician. He knows it in a way you need to know to win the election. All he will now need is to convince his colleagues in NASA to support him. And I see no reason why they should not listen to him. So I see Raila Odinga carrying the ticket. And this is simple. If the handshake team, Mudavadi, Kalonzo, Wetangula, Gideon Moe, Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, if they want to beat Ruto, there's only one man who can beat Ruto. That man, Raila Amolo Odinga. Nobody else. I have said before, I might say so, sadly for those people, if you pair Mudavadi against Ruto, Ruto will not contest. If you ask Kalonzo to run against Ruto, he will have him for breakfast. If you feel Gideon Moe, Wetangula, it will be a walkover. There will be no contest in 2022. It will be so dull, Kenyans will hate it. So the only man who can face William Ruto, and in my thinking, floor him, is Raila Odinga.